I can't tell you how many times a contractor phones me up 6 months after finishing a roof clean, absolutely baffled. They say to me, Mark, I scraped every single bit of moss off that roof. I swept it, I cleared the gutters, it looked immaculate. And now the customer is calling me back because green spots are showing up all over the concrete tiles again. And my question to them is always the same. Did you actually treat the roof, or did you just give it a haircut? Because moss keeps coming back after roof cleaning because the underlying growth conditions have not been controlled. When you use a scraping blade or a brush on a roof tile, all you are doing is taking off the visible bulk. That is step one. But roof tiles, whether we are talking about concrete or clay, are inherently porous. They have tiny pits, micro fissures, and deep grooves, especially around the overlaps and tile laps. Deep inside those microscopic spaces, moss leaves behind what we call rhizoids. They are essentially root-like anchoring structures, along with millions of microscopic dormant spores. If you pack up your tools and walk away right after scraping, the very first time it rains, those dormant spores get hydrated. They wake up. They feed on the dampness trapped deep in the porous tile, and within 6 to 12 months, boom, you are right back to square one. The homeowner thinks you did a terrible job, you get a call back, your reputation takes a hit, and you end up doing unpaid rework out of your own pocket. That is where proper soft washing chemistry comes in. Once you've cleared that heavy physical mass, you have to apply a professional biocide solution, specifically something like DDAC, which stands for didecyl dimethyl ammonium chloride. What DDAC does, when it is applied at the correct dilution rate, is it creeps right under those tile laps where your scraping blade could never reach. It penetrates deep into the pores of the tile and destroys those remaining spores and rhizoids at the cellular level. Plus, it stays there. It binds to the surface to give you long-term residual protection, stopping fresh airborne spores from taking hold. But here is the big thing that trips up so many new contractors when they start using biocides like DDAC on roofs. They expect instant results, or even worse, they let their customer expect instant results. Now, if you apply a sodium hypochlorite mix to a dirty render wall, sure, you get an immediate visual clean. But with a slow-acting biocide on a roof tile, especially when you are dealing with stubborn yellow or white lichen, it does not disappear overnight. A quality biocide kills the biological growth on contact, but that dead lichen and organic matter still needs natural weather action to break down and detach. It takes 3 to 6 months of natural rainfall, frost, and wind cycles to wash those dead biological structures clean off the tiles. If you do not explain that timeline to the customer up front, in writing on your written quote, they are going to look out their window 2 weeks later, see grey or white lichen spots, and assume the chemical failed. Managing customer expectations is really what separates a true professional contractor from a splash and dash operator who just turns up, sprays something without thinking, and vanishes. Being an exterior specialist means knowing your surfaces, calculating your exact chemical dosing, and having your compliance fully sorted, from site-specific risk assessments and method statements, or RAMs, to proper PPE and environmental drainage containment. If you are serious about raising your standards, moving away from guessing games, and building a sustainable business that lasts, getting proper training is the best investment you can make. That is why we run the CPD Certified SoftWash training course over at softwashing.uk. We cover the chemistry, surface identification, roof access, dosing calculations, and full compliance so you can qualify as an approved SoftWash applicator and connect with a brilliant network through the National Association of SoftWash Community. Stop treating roof moss like a quick lawn haircut, treat the biology properly, and deliver results that actually last for years.